off the road and onto the racetrack. There's a shot for DJ Harriet Scott.
You're kidding.
When she has to live with our electric car. And a first on British TV, spy shots of the new BMW Z3. But first, tops down, we're going cruising in the Driven 100.
Vauxhall claim to combine style and substance in the new Astra. But can it beat the old stalwart, the VW Golf? And the Peugeot 206cc?
Ragtops are often treated as the poor relation of the product lineup and invariably loiter one generation behind the tin-top fleet. That's pretty much the case here. It's a bit like Tara Palmer Tompkinson disguising last year's Versace with a new belt bag and shoes. Still, it's all very well put together, but it's just not new. And I reckon that's a bit of a raw deal when you consider this car will cost you 17 grand.
Vauxhall isn't usually known for being at the cutting edge of fashion. Italian design house Bertoni have taken a standard Vauxhall Astra Coupe and hacksawed the roof off, and they've come up with a very handsome looking beast. Albeit it's the dearest car on test here at £17,500. But you know what they say? You pay your money, you take your choice.
At just under 16 grand, the Peugeot 206cc is the most expensive in the 206 range, but it's still the cheapest of the three cars we're testing this week. CC stands for Coupe Cabriolet, and it refers to this hard top, which is pretty nifty. It folds into the boot, and if you're doing less than 7 miles an hour, you can convert on the move. Now, to get a party trick like this, you've got to spend twice the money on a Mercedes SLK or all of your money on the forthcoming Lexus Coupe.
More from the Driven 100 later, but first, can Mike persuade DJ Harriet Scott to think electric?
Now, you may think that this is the closest that you and I will ever get to practical electrical transport. Well, think again. You may remember in the last series I drove the Think City, a quirky little electric car from Ford, but that test was just for a day. Can the car survive a week of regular journeys and recharging? Now, to really put the Think to the test, we need somebody who lives in the city, has a demanding occupation, and an active social life. Well, that rules me out, then.
This is Virgin Radio. I'm Harriet Scott. Have a brilliant rest of your day. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon from 1.
All right, Harriet?
Hello.
Right. Here's the keys to your new car.
Lovely. All right.
This is the instruction manual.
OK, very
Here
red.
is your free car parking pass. Now, we stuck the camera in the car so you can tell us how you're getting on. Good luck.
All right.
I need the keys to your car.
Yep.
And by the way, you might need these.
What do I need these for?
Because I forgot to tell you, it's electric.
You're kidding.
And just to make sure Harriet really does make full use of the car, I'll be keeping an eye on her as well.
So this is my home, is it, for next week, Mike? Thank you very much. It's quite basic, though, actually. A city car, no pollution, exhaust or noise. See about that. No more petrol stations. God, this is really weird. Recharging. A normal wall socket is all you need. Fully charged battery can drive up to 53 miles. That's not bad, actually. It's only about 6 miles home. This should be a doddle.
Now, a full charge of 18.5 kilowatts from any domestic socket is going to take Harriet 6 to 8 hours and cost about 40p, which is about the same as boiling a kettle 10 times.
I usually think twice before driving to work, just because it's so expensive to park when you get there. I'm not used to the gauge yet. I wouldn't want to get caught out, and until you're used to it, you just wouldn't know quite how much you've got. Right, when I get to work, hopefully there's a car parking space in Golden Square, because you can park this thing anywhere for free in Westminster, and you can have an argument with a traffic warden and you can be on the right side for once. Leave it here and hopefully not get a ticket.
Where are we going anyway?
Going to a record launch.
OK. I'm glad you're driving, put it that way. This is not something I would drive. I like the idea of not having to pay for petrol.
Yeah. Are you embarrassed then, turning up in this?
Don't you laugh?
charge notice? I don't think so. I'm on a meter. I'm in Westminster, which means I can park here for free. I look forward to making this conversation. I don't think so. Clearly, not everybody's up to speed on these electric cars. But the only time I've been happy to get a parking ticket. It's falling quite fast now. I've gone past the small dot and I'm heading towards the middle dot, which is you really need to start thinking about charging up. Right, 5% of energy, which is not good. No, don't get in my way. I'm sorry, but this is an emergency.
Don't worry, Harriet, if you haven't made it to a think-friendly car park. RAC membership is included with the car, but all they do is tow you to a charging point. On-street bays are few and far between, but are starting to appear at Sainsbury's and quick-fit centres.
Is it a cool bird's car? Would you fancy me if you didn't know me and you saw me in this car?
No. Ford won't sell you a Think, but you can lease them for a hefty 320 quid. So after a week, is Harriet an electric car convert, or does she miss her Saab?
It's all very well doing something for the environment, but I do think it must be like having a child having this car. Making sure you know how long you've got to go until its next feed. It's quite apt that it's called a think car because that's what you have to do. Think about it all the time. I don't have a garage where I live and I don't have off-street parking, so this car, long term, would be an absolute nightmare.
Hello.
Now, can I tempt you to keep this for another week, or do you want your Saab back?
I can't get out of this car fast.
Really?
Give me my keys back.
First swap.
Oh, and you might need these as well.
Why? I won't need these, will I? You better not have. It better not be flat.
Bye.
And it is. It's there. Harriet! Harriet!
Now, the Driven 100 and our first test, driveability.
They may look great, but just how well do they drive? We've had these cars in all sorts of conditions, motorways, country roads, you name it. But the acid test for convertibles is ride quality.
That's because hacking a roof off a standard production motor is a massive engineering task. The tin top is the basic part of the body shell, and when that's gone, all the stiffness and strength has to be re-engineered back into the bottom of the motor.
If they get it wrong, the car will shake like a tortoise strapped to a road drill, or what's technically known as scuttle shake. Basically, if the car isn't built quite right, you get a really nasty vibration through the steering wheel, and over time that turns into an even more irritating squeaky interior, which is just not good enough when you've forked out the best part of 20 grand for your new car.
As well as scuttle shake, we'll be measuring ride quality with the help of tonight's dessert.
Right, now, before we start, this is not really a scientific test, but we all want to know what scuttle shake is and how it affects the ride and handling of a car.
Now, the jelly can't measure scuttle shake, that comes through the steering wheel, but what it can do is give you an idea of the ride quality, and it's wobbling very well.
But there is some scuttle shake coming through the cabin of this car. The steering wheel's moving laterally upon the dashboard here.
But
on the cobbles.
let's not forget it's got 16-inch wheels with low-profile tyres, and that's going to make the ride fairly harsh as it is. Oh, my Lord, look what's happened there.
Michael! Not a bad performance, but what about the Astra?
Vauxhall tell us they've got some trick stuff under this car.
They've got a self-stabilising dynamic safety suspension system, which has been adopted from the Astra Coupe.
16-inch wheels, low-profile tyres.
What's the steering wheel like, Mike?
The steering wheel's good. I mean, I've got scuttle shake coming through, but nowhere near as bad as that Golf.
The ride quality feels quite good, and my jellyometer says not bad.
The braking test pen?
Oh, no, don't!
Well, hell.
The best so far. But now for the 206cc. Now, the Peugeot instantly feels different. You can't feel that much scuttle shake coming through the cabin, but in terms of ride quality, the ride is much harsher.
The jelly is absolutely falling to bits.
The car's also got low-profile tyres and 16-inch wheels.
I can see quite a lot of vibration on that wheel. Can you not?
It's not really scuttle shake, it's more vibration that's coming through the car. It's not the same lateral movement as you get in scuttle shake.
No, gently on the brakes.
Oh, she's gone.
You little toe rag.
I can't help it, the brakes
No,
on this
you
car are
can't.
so sharp.
Ah!
Look, just touch
No,
the brakes.
it's just not funny anymore.
And the jelly's gone off. But anyway, the results of the test are, and I think you're in agreement here, is the Vauxhall Astra most certainly was the best. A very close second, but it did have some scuttle shake, was the Volkswagen Golf, and coming in last, but not due to scuttle shake, but just due to its ride quality. And a very close third was the Peugeot 206. People often say that We got the best job in the world, getting to drive all these flash motors around. Well, guess what? Now it's your turn. You can come and join us at our own unique event, which we're holding in the middle of England.
It's called Motordrive. It's on the 27th and 28th of October. Log on to 4car.co.uk to find out more information. We'll see you there.
In part 2, unseen spy shots of the forthcoming BMW Z3 and track days, an excuse to burn rubber, or do they really make you a better driver?
Can you remember the last time you went driving just for the sheer thrill of it? No, neither can I. What with stop-go city traffic, speed cameras, it just isn't safe to drive on public roads fast. So what's the solution? Track days. Track days are a safe and enjoyable way to really get your foot down. With at least one happening every day in Britain over the summer, there's plenty to choose from. I've come to Castle Combe, one of the most challenging race circuits in the country, to find out what all the fuss is about. First, there are some formalities to deal with, like the safety briefing.
We encourage you to only overtake on the right-hand side. Diving up the inside into the corners is a no-no.
Then the all-important one-to-one tuition with the instructor.
By the end of the day, people are going twice as fast as they were at the beginning of the day, 10 times safer.
A day here will cost you about 140 quid, but prices vary depending on where you go. They provide safety equipment, but that's about it. You'll need to bring a clean driving licence and check your insurance cover. And of course, something to drive. But it doesn't have to be flash.
I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul.
This is about coming out of your office, get rid of some of that frustration, just having a bit of fun. Learning something about your driving skills that you probably never knew you had. Down through the gears, coming into this bend, judge the braking point, wait for the second cone, which is a turn in there, look for the apex, which is a green cone that tells you where you should be on the corner. Get on the gas, hard on the gas, flat. I'm doing over 100 miles an hour. This ain't Mickey Mouse stuff, this is the real deal. Oh, those guys who are out there today, doing their bit of fishing, eating a few balls, having a round of golf. Give it up! Come and do this! It's much better fun! If you're planning to go on several track days, we recommend that you fit road-legal track tyres. Upgrade your brakes and buy your own helmet, as the one supplied might not completely be flush with your head. You'll find full details on www.4car.co.uk. I tell you what, any frustrations I had 20 minutes ago, they're gone. All of a sudden, I'm the best racing driver in the world. I've learned something about the car, I've learned something about myself and the limitations of it, and for the money, I've had the best day out of anyone. Brilliant fun.
I bet you think what we do is easy. Well, prove it. We want you to send us a short video review of your own car. Doesn't matter how old it is or how knackered it is, we just want you to tell us in less than 3 minutes what you like about it and what you don't.
All you need is a camcorder, a friend to help you with the filming, and a little bit of imagination. The 12 best reviewers will join me, Mike and Penny in a special programme later on the series, where you're going to compete to become the best UK amateur car reviewer. The winner gets a brand new car.
To win that new Volkswagen Lupo GTI, courtesy of janjar.com, the internet car retailer, log on to 4car.co.uk for full details of how to take part, or you can call 090 1303 1303. Now back to the Driven 100. Our three cars occupy a bit of a strange sector, sandwiched somewhere between sporting roadsters like the MX-5 and prestigious cabriolets like the BMW 3 Series.
Yours, Pen.
Might be.
Basically, buyers want a practical car with a bit of image so they can fold the roof down.
But can you still fill your boots and keep that all-important roof-down pose through the towns?
We'll be using these cars to take us on a picnic in the countryside. But first, we've got to park them up in a tight space and then load them up with all the grub. Our first challenger is the VW Golf.
This is a tight space. Now, because this hood doesn't fold into the boot, it completely obliterates my view. It's really, really hard to judge the space. Well, the steering's nice and light, and the clutch and everything's easy to control.
Might be up the curb there.
Oh, God.
We've got all day, Pen, don't worry.
Well, look, we're in, but crikey, I don't know how I did that. Right, where's the pie man?
He'd be inside stuffing his face, wouldn't he? Oi, fatty!
Now, the first car to load up is the Volkswagen Golf for the picnic loading test. Now, this car, out of three, has got more of a conventional boot because the roof doesn't rely on folding in the boot, so you get a nice big wide boot area, and it's quite spacious inside. Hopefully, it will swallow up not only the hamper, but the essential barbecue, cool box. That'll go in, 3 chairs. These are going to be a bit of a tight squeeze. Let's work this one out. 1 chair in. Oh, it's all going to go in. Good work for the Golf. Right, go on then, Pen. Hit it.
All right.
Tricky to park with a high back, but enough space for our picnic essentials. What about the Astra?
Now, the roof has folded away much more neatly into the boot than it did in the Golf, but even so, it's a high back. Oh, crikey, that's the curb. It feels much longer, this car. I don't feel like I've got the room.
What's the steering
bang.
like?
It's lovely and light.
What about the pedals?
They're lovely. This car is so much nicer to drive than the Golf.
Unlike the Golf, the Astra has a roof that folds down into the boot. But if you have a look, it's managing to not only swallow up the chairs and the blanket, but I've got a good idea. I'll get the rest in as well.
Good at parking, more than enough space. You can have your cake and eat it. Last, the Peugeot.
Now, the roof has been tucked away so neatly in this little Peugeot that I can actually see what I'm doing. Oh, the throttle's horrible and the steering's a bit lumpy, but I can get in. So there you go.
Mate, leave
All right,
the
I'm coming. Calm down. I'm a little bit concerned about this one because the whole roof fits into the boot of this car. We got the picnic camper, bit of a squeeze, barbecue in. The cool box is a big no-no, so that's about it. That won't even go in. Look, even if this stuff wasn't in there, I don't think I could squeeze into them rear seats anyway. I'll tell you what. Go on, just go and have your picnic without me.
Yeah, right then.
Thanks for waiting, guys.
We were just talking about the Peugeot and how you couldn't fit in it.
Whoa. Well, it's made me do that. It's got to have a rubbish score.
What about 8? It's harsh.
I'll
but
go
fair.
along with that. Definitely.
Now, the Golf.
The Golf, marginally better. It's got a good practical boot, so I'm a bit out of breath. Little bit narrow in the back.
Dead comfy in the front line. Very comfortable. Good, nice ride. Pockets.
So can we say 15?
We can.
Would that be fair?
Yeah.
But the Astra is definitely the most practical here,
I
isn't
can't
it?
believe it. The roof folds back into the boot. Yeah, it's got a bigger boot than the Golf.
And more space in the front, and more comfortable. It's just the best.
16.
It's
Give it a
16.
score.
16.
The Peugeot's hard roof may make for great security, but it's just not practical, and it scores 8. The Golf is long in the tooth, but still competent and gets 15. But the Astra can do it all.
Now, the first ever shots of BMW's new Z3. Our spies have been hard at work catching BMW's next Z3, spotted during high-speed testing at Germany's demanding Nürburgring. This is an all-new car, and from our computer-generated images, you can see what the Z3 will look like when it arrives in 2003. Expect class-leading handling as the suspension comes from the latest 3 Series, as do the 4 and the 6-cylinder engines, including the BMW M3 super hot 342 brake horsepower version. The car will compete directly with the Mercedes SLK and the Honda S2000. With striking new looks and improved quality, BMW hope the new Z3 will take the convertible market by storm.
Is an Astra desirable? Time to find out in the Driven 100.
Now, most of the people who would buy one of our free group test cars this week, even on this lovely sunny day, only have one thing on their mind, and that's attention. They think nothing more than to peel back the roof, pump up the volume, and High Street, it's their kingdom.
So we've parked our 3 cars bang in the middle of Cappuccino Land to see what, with whom, and in which.
Right, come on, let's have a look at the Golf. Shall we show you how to work this roof?
Do you really?
Right, now push the button down.
But what you've got to do is you got to get them some umbrellas, Jason.
What about the inside? Do you like those?
Fairly basic.
Do we like this car? Do we not?
Promises a lot on the outside, sort of a bit garish, and then you look inside, it's a bit.
I reckon it's the only car that you'd see like this that would actually need sunglasses to get in the interior.
And I think our people from Warwick say...
It doesn't do anything for us.
They don't like it.
Everyone, the Vauxhall Astra, welcome. Convertible, it's a new shape. Now, you said about the Golf, it's not sleek enough. Instantly, is this now we get in there, are we? Much better, good. Yeah, you like it inside? Do you want to pop the roof back? We get you an umbrella, don't worry. You like this, do you? So you could see yourself doing this down the old, outside the cappuccino bar. And the clever thing is, you can do this as you walk away from it. You can press the button and it'll wind up the roof, and so you can be sitting down there having your cool. You look really cool pressing your button, the roof comes up. Can we get some opinions?
Yeah, nicer interior.
Oh, there's a good word, sophisticated. What else? But in regards to this one then, what did the Watery people from Warwick say?
Yes. Very tidy.
Now let me see if I can tempt you with my Peugeot 206cc. CC stands for Coupe Convertible. Who's going to try and get in?
Couldn't be seen dead getting into it.
Now, let's get the roof down. 2 handles either side. If you do the other one the other side. Tell me about the interior, what you think about in there.
It's a bit classic.
So the look of it, the style of it, is this you?
Yeah. Me, yeah.
Very nice.
Right.
Who really likes it?
It's a great car, but then when you really look at it inside, it's not.
Can I ask you one thing? If you put the seatbelt on, now imagine you brake hard, where's your head going to hit? Just imagine if you went right a little bit with your head.
Yeah.
Where's it going to hit? That's nice, isn't it?
I think it's time to cast a vote. Right, ladies and gentlemen, run around now. Oh, they're going to go, they're going to go, they're going to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jason, how many you got?
Oh, I've got 2.
2, Penny.
Oh, the 206 only got 2.
And I've got 14, so it's pretty conclusive. The Vauxhall Astra, in terms of desirability, wins this test.
A shocking result. A Vauxhall trounces the competition and scores 19. Now, how much do these 3 cost to run, taking into account depreciation, servicing and fuel?
The Astra isn't quite as clever as Vauxhall would like to think. It's the dearest car on test and the most expensive to run at 51p a mile, and it scores 17. The Peugeot and the Golf are even Stevens, but they cost 47p a mile to run, so they get 18 points each.
Now it's time to find out who's this week's champ and this week's chump. In last place, no real boot and ridiculous back seats, the Peugeot only scores 54.
The Golf meanders into second place. Competent all-round, but simply nowhere near as good as the Mark IV tin-top version, a mediocre 62.
Would you believe it? The Astra beats the Golf and the Peugeot. It can do it all. It's so well styled, you're sure to look great. An excellent 70.
The Peugeot may look fantastic, but believe me, it just isn't that good a drive. It's riddled with annoyances, and what's more, it didn't even turn the heads of our punters.
The Volkswagen Golf may use old technology, but it's still a good drive with a fairly practical boot, but it's not desirable enough to beat this week's winner.
Which is the new Astra Convertible. It's got the style, the looks, the drive and the practicality. It is streets ahead of the other 2 cars here. We'll see you next week.
Next week on Driven, Penny gets behind the wheel of the stunning new Maserati Spider. And in the Driven 100, is the Smart really the ultimate city car?
And next week is all at the same time, kicking off at 8:30 p.m. here on 4.